Have you ever sent a message to a woman, then waited for hours, sometimes even days, only to receive a dry, emotionless K, or worse, complete silence? If that's ever happened to you, type yes in the comments. But if women usually reply fast and seem genuinely excited to hear from you, type no, because I honestly want to know what you're doing differently. Quick question before we continue. What if the issue was never what you said, but how your message made her feel? Let's be honest for a moment. Texting should feel simple, even fun. Yet for many men, it feels like a mental war. You send a message, check your phone every few minutes, feel that tight drop in your stomach when nothing comes back, and then start replaying every single word you typed, over and over again. And here's the frustrating part. The harder you try, the more distance you feel from her. The more effort you put in, the less interested she appears. And that, my friend, is exactly where things go wrong. Most men text in ways that quietly drain attraction, without ever realizing they're doing it. They sound too available, too predictable, or simply too easy to overlook. But what if I told you that just 3 small adjustments could completely change this dynamic? Instead of chasing her attention, you become the man who naturally holds it. The man she thinks about when her phone lights up. The man whose messages she actually looks forward to opening. Today, we're breaking down 3 texting secrets women can't resist. These are not pickup lines. They're not manipulation or cheap tricks. They're proven psychological principles designed to tap into what genuinely captures a woman's attention and keeps it there. So if you're tired of being ignored and you're ready to make women feel excited when they hear from you, stay with me. This will permanently change the way you text. Number 1, texts that spark her curiosity. Picture this for a moment. You send her a message and instead of a dull reply or no response at all, she texts back almost immediately. She asks questions. She leans into the conversation. She actually wants it to continue. Sounds unrealistic, right? It isn't. It's rooted in psychology. Curiosity is one of the strongest mental triggers we have. When something catches your interest, the brain shifts into a curious state, a state where it actively seeks answers. This is why cliffhangers in movies keep people hooked, why mystery boxes are so hard to ignore, and why certain messages get instant replies while others are quietly overlooked. When you activate curiosity in a woman's mind, she feels an internal pull to know more, and that pull is what motivates her to respond. Unfortunately, most men text in ways that completely shut curiosity down. They send messages like, "Hope you're having a nice day," or "How was your weekend?" or the classic, "Hey, what's up?" Safe, predictable, very easy to ignore. These messages give her no real reason to reply because they don't create a mental gap. There's no sense of missing information, no subtle tension, nothing that makes her feel she's about to miss something interesting. Now let's change the approach. Instead of laying out all the details right away, you deliberately hold back just enough to activate her curiosity, and this is exactly how it works. "I just realized something interesting about you. You won't believe what happened to me today. You did something unexpected in my dream last night." Messages like these work because they leave her slightly suspended. There's missing information, and her mind naturally wants to fill that gap. Almost automatically, she feels compelled to ask, "What is it?" And that's where you extend the interaction. But here's the important part. When she asks for more, you don't reveal everything all at once. You keep her interest alive by unfolding the story gradually, instead of rushing to the point. For example, imagine you text, "You won't believe what happened to me today," and she replies with, "What happened?" You don't jump straight into the full explanation. Instead, you respond with something like, "It's actually pretty funny, but before I explain, I have to ask, have you ever had a moment where something randomly reminded you of someone? in the strangest way. This approach keeps her engaged and allows the conversation to flow naturally without pressure or force. Men who understand this never struggle to keep conversations alive. Women are naturally curious, and when you guide that curiosity in the right direction, they don't just reply, they begin to invest. And when a woman invests emotionally, genuine engagement starts to build. Now that you understand how to activate curiosity, let's move on to the next secret: how to make her genuinely anticipate your messages. Number 2, texts that build anticipation. If curiosity captures her attention, anticipation keeps her thinking about you, even when you're not texting at all. When a woman looks forward to something exciting, her brain releases dopamine, the same chemical linked to pleasure, motivation, and excitement. That's why people count down to vacations, birthday surprises, or even a simple weekend plan. The anticipation itself becomes enjoyable, and the more she anticipates, the more emotionally invested she becomes. Most men fail here because they reveal everything too early. They make conversations predictable, stripping away any sense of suspense or emotional build-up. If she always knows what's coming next, there's nothing to look forward to. Now look at these common mistakes. I got you something today. I planned a fun date for us. I have something to tell you. These messages aren't bad, but they're missing one critical element: mystery. Instead of simply informing her, you want her mind to wander, to speculate, to feel a slight restlessness until she finds out more. That's how anticipation is created. So let's reframe those messages in a way that builds excitement instead of giving everything away. I saw something today that instantly reminded me of you. Want to guess what it was? I have a plan for Friday that I think you'll really enjoy. But first, tell me this. Do you like surprises? If I told you I discovered something genuinely interesting about you, would you want to know what it is? This is how anticipation works. You don't rush the reveal. You let her imagination do the work for you. These messages do two important things. First, they send her imagination into motion. Her mind starts playing with possibilities. Second, they subtly push her to respond because her brain wants closure. She doesn't want the mystery left unresolved. And here's the crucial part. When she asks for details, don't hand everything over immediately. Tease it just a little. If she asks, "What is it?" you reply with, "I could tell you right now, but where's the fun in that? Take a guess first." This keeps her engaged, makes the interaction playful, and gently places you in control of the conversation. Women enjoy anticipation because it turns ordinary texting into something that feels like a story unfolding in real time. When you become the man who creates that feeling, she won't just reply. She'll start checking her phone more often, quietly hoping to see your name appear. Now that you understand how to create anticipation, let's move on to the final secret: how to give compliments that actually work. Number 3, offering genuine compliments. Most men believe that complimenting a woman will automatically make her like them, but here's the reality. When compliments are delivered the wrong way, they often backfire. Women hear generic praise constantly, especially when it's focused only on physical appearance. If you tell an attractive woman, "You're so gorgeous," it rarely leaves an impression. She's heard it countless times before, and it doesn't separate you from anyone else. The issue isn't compliments themselves, it's how most men give them. The real key is making your compliments feel sincere, personal, and specific. Something that shows you actually notice her as a person, not just how she looks. Now look at these common mistakes. You have such beautiful eyes. You're so hot. You're the most stunning girl I've ever seen. These don't land well because they sound automatic and low effort. They don't make her feel special because almost every man uses the same lines. Now let's change the approach. Here are compliments that actually make an impact. I like the way you see the world. Most people don't think the way you do. The way you handle challenges is impressive. Not many people have that mindset. I can tell you have a unique way of making people feel comfortable around you. That's rare. These compliments feel different because they acknowledge who she is, not just what she looks like. And here's the important part. When you compliment something deeper than appearance, it creates a stronger emotional connection. She starts thinking, this guy actually sees me for more than just my looks. One more crucial element is timing. Don't throw compliments out randomly. Use them when they naturally fit into the conversation, so they feel authentic and effortless. When she starts talking about her goals, that's your opening. That's the perfect moment to say something like, I really respect how driven you are. Most people talk about their dreams, but you actually take action on yours. This makes her feel noticed, valued, and genuinely appreciated. A well-timed compliment isn't just about making her feel good in the moment. It's about making her associate positive emotions with you. When a woman feels truly appreciated, she's far more likely to reply, engage deeper, and invest emotionally in the conversation. Now that we've covered curiosity, anticipation, and genuine compliments, let's bring this together. By now, you should realize that texting isn't really about words. It's about emotions. Every time you message a woman, you're either sparking curiosity, building anticipation, or making her feel valued. If you do none of these, you become just another name in her inbox. Easy to ignore, easy to forget. So let's quickly recap the 3 texting secrets women can't resist. Curiosity. Make her wonder. Encourage questions. Leave small gaps in the story instead of revealing everything up front. Anticipation. Give her something to look forward to. Let her imagine and guess, rather than handing her all the details immediately. Genuine compliments. Skip generic praise about looks. Compliment her mindset, her perspective, her unique energy. That's what leaves a lasting impression. Most men get stuck in dry, predictable conversations that don't make a woman feel anything. But you won't be like most men. From now on, every text you send will either make her curious, excited, or appreciated. That's how texting becomes effortless and enjoyable. When you apply these principles, you'll notice a real shift. Women will engage more, reply faster, and feel genuinely interested in talking to you. And the best part, you won't feel like you're chasing attention anymore because the dynamic has changed. Master these techniques, and getting ignored will no longer be something you worry about. Picture this. You're talking to a woman, the conversation is flowing smoothly, and then she says something, just a simple phrase, nothing obvious, nothing dramatic. Yet if you knew what to listen for, you'd realize she just revealed herself, because women don't always express what they feel directly. They communicate through hints, subtext, and coded messages, and most men miss these signs entirely. Once you learn to hear them, you can spot attraction before it even fully forms. That's why today we're breaking it down, diving into 5 specific phrases a woman uses when she's developing feelings for you. Some sound playful, some seem innocent, and some are so subtle that most guys would never notice them. But once you understand them, you'll start recognizing attraction long before it becomes obvious. So let's get into it. I don't usually do this, but the hidden confession. When a woman likes you, she rarely comes out and says it directly. Instead, she drops subtle hints, phrases that appear casual on the surface, but carry a deeper meaning underneath. And one of the strongest tells is, I don't usually do this, but a phrase loaded with quiet psychology. Think about it. She might be talking about texting you first, opening up emotionally, or even something physical. But in every situation, what she's really saying is, this isn't something I do for just any guy, but for you. I'm making an exception. Women are very aware of how they're perceived. They know men judge actions. They understand that reputation matters. And when they like a man, they want to separate themselves by saying, I don't usually do this. She's letting you know that what's happening matters. She's signaling, I want you to see me as different from other women. I feel safe enough with you to bend my own rules, and I trust you enough to lower my guard. And here's the most important part. She doesn't have to say this. She could simply take action and leave it there, but the fact that she verbalizes it is the clue. It's her way of making sure you understand she's showing you attraction without saying it outright. Here's where most men go wrong. When a woman says this, some guys get overly excited. They call it out, they question it, and they act like they've just unlocked a huge victory, which is a bad move. Instead, the best response is calm confidence. You treat it like it's the most natural thing in the world. You smile, you hold eye contact, and you say something smooth like, I won't tell anyone if you don't, or even better, with a playful smirk, I don't usually hear that, but I'll take it. This keeps the energy light, keeps her guessing, and pulls her even closer, because now you're not just another guy reacting to her words. You're the kind of man who makes her feel intrigued, challenged, and excited. And that's exactly what makes a woman want to chase. You're different from other guys, the ultimate green flag. When a woman says, you're different from other guys, most men hear it as a simple compliment, but if you really listen, it means much more than that. This phrase gives you a direct window into how she sees you, how she feels about you, and where she believes the potential of your connection lies. When she says this, she's making a comparison, and that's the key. Because she's not just saying you're different, she's saying you're different from the other men she's met, dated, or been involved with. That means one of two things. Either she's had negative experiences with men in the past, or she sees you as uniquely valuable. Either way, she's placing you in a category of your own. She's no longer seeing you as just another guy. She's beginning to view you as someone special, and that changes everything. There's a psychological principle called contrast bias, which means we don't judge things in isolation. We judge them based on what we've experienced before. If a woman has been with men who were emotionally unavailable, then meeting a man who's secure and grounded instantly feels different. If she's dated men who were weak or passive, a man with confidence and direction stands out right away. And that's what this phrase is really pointing to. It's not just a compliment, it's a signal that she's emotionally invested in you. This is where it gets interesting. Most men, when they hear this, react in one of two ways. They either get cocky, yeah, I know, I'm amazing, or they get awkward, oh, thanks, and both reactions miss the mark. Instead, the smartest move is to lean into it with curiosity. Try saying, what do you mean? Or even better, what kind of guys are you usually around? This flips the dynamic. Now she's not just complimenting you, she's opening up about her experiences, her past, and her mindset. And the more she talks, the deeper the connection becomes. Because here's the truth, attraction isn't just about looks or success. It's about how a woman feels when she's with you. And if you can make her feel understood, intrigued, and drawn in, she'll keep chasing long after the words leave her lips. I wish more guys were like you, the silent invitation. If a woman says this to you, pay close attention, because she's not just offering a compliment, she's dropping a strong hint. What she's really doing when she tells you, I wish more guys were like you, is three things at the same time. 1, she's singling you out. She's not saying all men are great, she's saying you are different. 2, she's expressing frustration with other men. Maybe she's been treated poorly, maybe she's been let down, but either way, she sees you as someone who stands above the rest. 3, she's subtly inviting you to make a move, because if you're the kind of man she wishes more guys were like, then it only makes sense that she'd want to be with you herself. The psychological power of comparison matters here. Women don't experience attraction in isolation. They experience it in contrast to what they've experienced before. If she's been with men who are selfish, a man who genuinely listens feels refreshing. If she's been with men who are passive, a man with confidence feels exciting. If she's been with men who were immature, a man with purpose feels irresistible. That's why contrast is everything. When she says, "I wish more guys were like you," she's mentally separating you from everyone else. And once that happens, attraction is already in motion. "You're so annoying," the flirty push and pull. This one confuses a lot of men because on the surface it sounds negative, but in reality, it's one of the strongest signs of hidden attraction. The psychology behind teasing is simple. Teasing has been one of the oldest flirting techniques in human history because it creates tension, and tension fuels attraction. When a woman likes you, she doesn't want things to feel boring or predictable. She wants playfulness, a little challenge, and a sense of unpredictability. So when she says, "You're so annoying," paired with a playful smile or a laugh, what she's really saying is, "You're getting under my skin, and I enjoy it." Women love to test a man's confidence. They want to see if you can handle playful teasing, whether you get flustered or if you react with insecurity. Most men misread this completely. Some take it too seriously. "Wait, what did I do?" Some get defensive, "I'm not annoying." And others try to overcompensate. "No, you're the annoying one. All of those are wrong." Instead, the best response is to lean into it. If she calls you annoying, say, "Yeah, but you love it." Or even better, "You should see me when I really try." This does two things. It shows confidence and playfulness, and it keeps the tension alive, which makes her even more attracted. The moment she starts teasing you, she's already invested. Your job is to play along, keep the energy high, and watch how quickly she gets hooked. "I feel like I can tell you anything," the emotional connection triggers. This one is different from the others because it's not about teasing, flirting, or comparison. It's about trust. And trust is the foundation of deep attraction. When a woman says, "I feel like I can tell you anything," she's revealing something important. She feels safe with you, she feels understood, and most importantly, she's lowering her guard. Studies on attraction show that emotional vulnerability plays a major role in romantic chemistry. When people share personal thoughts, fears, and experiences, the brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and that's why deep conversations create deep connections. So, if a woman says this to you, it means she sees you as someone she can open up to. She trusts you more than most men. She's emotionally invested. And once emotions are involved, attraction skyrockets. This is where you need to be careful. The mistake most men make is either slipping into therapist mode and giving advice, or getting awkward and brushing it off, and both of these kill attraction. Instead, the best move is to mirror her emotional openness without over-explaining. Try saying, "I appreciate that. It's rare to have conversations like this." Or even better, "That means a lot. Not everyone knows how to open up like that." This does two things. It validates her feelings, which pulls her even closer, and it encourages her to open up more, which deepens the connection. When a woman starts emotionally investing in you, she's already imagining what it would feel like to be with you, and once that idea enters her mind, it's only a matter of time before she begins to chase. Final thoughts. Women don't always say "I like you," but they always leave hints. The key is learning how to decode their words and respond with confidence. Now that you know 5 major phrases women use when they're interested in you, ask yourself this: are you really paying attention? Because the men who do never have to chase, the women come to them. These are essential psychological insights about women that every man should understand if he truly wants to become the kind of lover they deeply desire. A surprising 93% of men are completely unaware of these principles, and as a result, they often face rejection when trying to build romantic connections with women. Before we dive in, Did you ever wonder why some guys just effortlessly attract women while others keep struggling? The answer lies in psychology. Stick with this video, because by grasping these fascinating insights, you'll put yourself among the elite 7% of men who are naturally more attractive and magnetic to women across the world. For example, women often fall in love through scent. Research has shown that if a woman genuinely enjoys the natural smell of a man, her chances of developing romantic feelings for him increase by an impressive 83%. This is due to the fact that biologically, women possess approximately 50% more neurons in the olfactory bulb compared to men, making them significantly more sensitive to fragrances. Mastering the art of choosing the right scent gives you a major upper hand in the game of attraction. So, stay tuned until the end of the video, because I'll be revealing the specific types of fragrances that most powerfully stimulate their senses. Another thing, women are often drawn to men who know how to play the game subtly. If you approach a woman too aggressively right off the bat, it often leads to rejection. But when you show genuine respect, patience, and emotional independence, she'll begin to open up and invest in building mutual trust and deeper connection. It's about understanding her body language, those little signs and gestures that tell you when she's feeling comfortable or when she wants you to get closer. Here's something important. Even when a woman feels something for you, she may never express it directly. If you're interested in a woman, it's critical to avoid falling into the just friends zone from the beginning. A compelling study revealed that 68% of women confessed they would consider engaging in a romantic relationship with a man if they knew there would be no consequences. So, the smart move is to signal your interest early on, not with words, but through subtle communication. Be confident, be intentional. Want to know how to do that exactly? Just drop a comment below and I'll guide you further. If she teases you, if a woman playfully mocks or makes light-hearted jokes about you, it's actually a strong sign that she may be attracted to you. Often, this teasing behavior is her way of creating a connection and subtly building trust. When women begin to fall for someone, their communication shifts to include more nuanced body language and playful games. Ever noticed how a teasing glance or sarcastic comment feels oddly personal? That's not random. It's often intentional. If you're genuinely interested in her, the smartest move is to lean into it. Play along. Mirror her playful tone while showing subtle signals of mutual attraction. A great way to do this is by lightly calling it out with charm. For example, you might say, "I know you call me that because you like me. You think I haven't noticed the way you've been looking at me." Women are drawn to men who understand their silent language. They love it when a man can pick up on the subtle clues they give, whether consciously or not, through body language and emotional expression. Not every man has the awareness to read these silent signals, and that's exactly what sets the confident ones apart. Unlike many men, women are often more emotionally reserved, especially when it comes to openly expressing love first. One of their biggest fears is facing rejection, so instead of speaking directly, they rely on subtle gestures and body language to communicate romantic interest. If a woman goes out of her way to make a specific gesture aimed at drawing your attention, she's likely hoping you'll respond in kind. But here's the catch. If she realizes you haven't noticed or understood her signal, she won't press further. She'll simply pull back, say nothing, and likely move on. That's why learning to read these cues is a game changer. If you're curious and want to learn more about how to decode a woman's body language and romantic signals, drop your questions in the comments. I'll break it down for you. The next insight is a fascinating strategy you can start using right away. one that taps into a deeper psychological layer of attraction and emotional connection. Did you know that what you say after an intimate moment can influence whether she wants to see you again? Most men miss this completely. Women genuinely care about how they present themselves, especially during intimate experiences. They pay close attention to the design, fit, and color of their undergarments, not just for fashion, but to feel confident and appreciated in those vulnerable moments. That's why it's essential not to stay silent. If she's gone out of her way to look good for you, acknowledge it with a sincere compliment. Tell her how stunning that lingerie looks on her. By affirming her effort and boosting her confidence, you'll likely find that she'll wear something even more beautiful the next time, because you've shown that you notice and value her details. This becomes a powerful motivator for her to keep investing in the connection. Women also experience deeper emotional and physical sensations. Understanding the complexity of the female mind and the emotional layers involved can dramatically enhance her experience. Unlike men, who are typically more physically driven, women tend to rely more on emotional and sensory cues. That's why I recommend you avoid being overly direct. Instead, use subtle communication, subtext, tone, presence, and let emotion guide the interaction. Be patient. Take your time before engaging in anything physical. Ask thoughtful questions that encourage her to open up emotionally. Make her feel seen and deeply understood. Do that, and you'll unlock a powerful connection, and she may very well fall in love with you in the process. Now, here's something personal I want to share. We get all kinds of comments on this channel, some positive, some negative. But to be honest, if you're dropping negative opinions without any thought or research, I won't waste time reading them, because those comments often come from a place of reaction, not reflection. So before you try to challenge anything here, I invite you to actually dig deeper. Read some books. Explore what successful people, psychologists, doctors, historians, even teachings from Stoicism have said on these topics. Then come back and engage with real value. Prove me wrong with knowledge, not knee-jerk responses. Thank you for understanding. Now, let's move on to number 9. Here's a truth that may surprise you. Some women form deeper emotional bonds with their best friends than with their romantic partners. This isn't just speculation. It's been backed by research showing that women's friendships can stimulate their emotions more intensely than their romantic relationships do. So the next time you wonder who she turns to when she's hurting, it might not be you, but her best friend. When a woman chooses to leave her partner at home to go meet a close friend, her emotional state actually shifts. She enters that space with heightened sensitivity, free of judgment and open to support and empathy. With friends, women often feel emotionally safe, fully accepted, and more expressive. This emotional fulfillment can sometimes be mistaken for romantic attraction, even by her. That's why it's wise to pay attention to her friendships. If a close friend becomes a constant emotional outlet, it could open the door to confusion, or worse, betrayal, unless that friend is truly angelic in nature. Now, another little-known fact. Some women accept dates just for food. In a surprising statistic from the US, a significant number of women admitted to saying yes to dates, primarily to enjoy a free meal. This doesn't mean every woman does this, but it underlines the importance of understanding her true motives. Don't rush into asking someone out. First, ensure she's genuinely interested in you, not just the perks. Want to know how to tell the difference? Ask me in the comments and I'll break it down for you. Also, don't forget, at the end of this video, I'll reveal the specific fragrance that has been shown to powerfully stimulate female attraction. So make sure you stick around. Now let's talk about emotional awareness. Women appreciate it when you approach them with empathy, especially when they're upset. If she's emotionally off, don't back off. Step forward. Ask her how she's feeling and why. Show that you care, and you'll immediately build trust. Understanding a woman's emotions can be complex, but it's important to remember that, like men, women are not always emotionally balanced. The difference is they are far more driven by emotion, whether positive or negative. Emotional intensity is how they experience life, and learning to connect through that will elevate your bond with her. That's why, surprisingly, some women end up emotionally attached to men who don't treat them well. I'll explain the psychology behind that later, so stay tuned. But for now, it's essential to understand the emotional dynamics women naturally engage in, what you might call their emotional games. If you're not aware of how these emotional patterns work, you'll always be 2 steps behind. Now, let's revisit the first insight we touched on earlier: fragrances that have the power to stimulate attraction in women. Among the most effective aromatic essences are jasmine and lavender. Back in 2017, researchers conducted a study involving 2 groups of men and 1 group of women. Each woman spent time individually with 2 different men, one wearing a neutral fragrance and the other wearing a scent infused with jasmine. The results were fascinating. The women consistently felt a stronger attraction to the man wearing the jasmine-based fragrance. This shows that scent isn't just a detail. It's a powerful trigger for emotional and romantic response. If you're wondering where to find such scents, you're in luck. There are several well-regarded perfumes that use these ingredients, including the elegant French Orpheon and the bold Paula Cevisa Eclectic, both known for their rich jasmine undertones and subtle sophistication. This channel is more than just tips and tricks. It's your companion for growth. Our mission is to help you move forward in every aspect of life. Whether it's building a meaningful and fulfilling relationship with your partner, achieving personal goals, or finding clarity through the timeless wisdom of philosophers and thinkers, we're here to support your journey, and there's so much more to come. Valuable topics, eye-opening insights, and practical strategies, all designed to help you level up in love and in life.